we have a nice helper today. Say hi to the people. You want to sit up here and help me? You're so sweet. Oh, okay, goodbye. And let's get these out of the way so you can't see ahead. It's TBR time already. It's already time for my August TBR. It feels insane that we're already like pretty much, I know we're not done with summer, but it feels like we're almost done with summer and that makes me so sad, but it is what it is. And we got books to cover for this next month that are my priority reads. I have been in a pretty gnarly slump for the majority of July, so I'm really hoping for some of these to help keep pulling me out. Today I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's because of the audiobook that I've been listening to, and actually the book that I'm reading right now I'm enjoying, which is kind of surprising to me because I haven't really been enjoying anything. So let's hopefully keep this momentum going in August here. So I got my books. Let's go ahead and give them a little rundown. So first up, as always, the 2 book club picks. So I don't know if we've announced either of these by the time that this video is going up, but if not, then you get a little sneak peek here. So first up for Smut Club, we are going to be reading Girl Going Nowhere by B. Celeste. So this is B. Celeste's newest release, and I'm a huge fan of her books. I have loved so many of her books previously. However, her books tend to err more on the side of like emotional romances than what I would consider just like smutty books. But this one apparently is like no thought, no plot, just hot. So we'll see. We're like, that's kind of perfect for Smut Club. I know Cheyenne has liked some of B. Celeste's books as well. So we're like, let's go ahead and give it a go. This one is a roommate romance. I don't think it ends up being Why Choose. However, there are, I think, MM, MF, and MFM scenes in it, and it's about a single mother who lives with like 3 roommates or something, and then I think she's just hooking up with them. I don't know, it's pretty short too. It's on the shorter side, which both Cheyenne and I needed because honestly, she's finally out of her slump. I'm coming out of it and we just needed something short. We didn't want to dedicate ourselves to something too long for Smut Club. So this is going to be our pick for next month and I'm really excited about it. And then next, another novella for my other book club, Out of Bounds. We're going to be reading Fate at Fault by Andy Sims. So this one is a novella and it's about a woman who her husband dies, and then I think like before his funeral even happens, some of his friends are trying to like slide in with her, and I'm pretty sure it is FFM. I don't really know that much about it. I literally, like, when I was talking to Nikki about what we were gonna pick, I just needed something really short. Like I said, I just needed a novella, so I was just like searching randomly for novellas and I found this one and it sounded fun. So we'll see. I don't know anything about it. I've never read anything by this author before, so I really don't have any expectations, but nonetheless, I'm excited to give it a go and see how it goes because I love FFM and I feel like it's not done enough, so I'm intrigued. So over on my Instagram where all the details reside for these next like 4 books that I have on my list, but there are a few of us who are doing another trope battle read along in the month of August. We did Age Gap back at the beginning of the summer, and now we're doing a battle of the sports trope read along. So it's me, Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, Sam from Sam Reads Little, Nikki from Nikki and Bookland, and Tori from Novel Life, so the 5 of us. So we each picked a book for the 5 weeks of August, and yeah, that's what these next 4 are. So I haven't read anyone else's picks. Mine, I did just choose one of my favorites, that way I didn't have to read another one, and I chose Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone, one of my favorite hockey romances. But these next 4 are all ones for that read along that I'll be reading. So first up, Cheyenne purposely picked this one because she wanted to see me read a Megan Quinn book, and that is Those 3 Little Words by Megan Quinn. I think, what sport is this? Is this hockey? I have never read a Megan Quinn book before because I think you guys know my reading taste and it just does not align with Megan Quinn's books. No shade, no tea to Megan Quinn or people who love her books. It's just me personally, I don't like rom-coms. I don't read them, I don't pick them up, but I will be reading this. And actually I think this is also a surprise pregnancy. So like throw that in there too. We will, actually wait, no, or is Sam's the surprise pregnancy? I don't know. One of these is a surprise pregnancy as well. So we'll see. I don't really know anything about this book except for the fact that it's the first one for the read along, so I will be reading that. Then the second week is my pick, and then the third week is The Trouble with Gravity by K.K. Allen. This one I think is Tori's pick, and I think it's a dance scene romance. Like I'm pretty sure the heroine is a dancer. I don't know if the hero is as well, but I also have never read anything by K.K. Allen because once again, I think she tends to lean more into like small town tropes. and I don't really read small town. But I do love a dancing romance, so I'm intrigued by that. Then Catching Lightning by Kaylee King, and I think Rare Rivers, I think is the other author. I think it's 2, but I only had space to write down one author. And I'm pretty sure this one is a football romance, and this one is Nikki's pick. And this one is the one that I'm most excited for, like when I read the synopsis. Now, of course, I can't remember because it just has completely left my brain at this point. But this one, I think it sounded more like emotional, maybe like a little more angsty, a little more toxic maybe. So I'm definitely intrigued by this one. And I don't read a lot of football romances. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I feel like I should get more into it. So we'll see. I need to learn a little bit more about football. So we'll read that. And my education on sports is only going to come from sports romances because like hell if I'm actually just going to like watch it on TV. And lastly is King of the Court by R.S. Gray. So this one is a basketball romance and this is Sam's pick. I think this cover is, it's a cover, but I know Sam has said that like the cover is deceiving and it's actually a really good book. So we'll see. I've read one other R.S. Gray book before and I liked it. And also this one has the audio on my Hoopla. So thank God, because I will probably just be listening to it that way, because the worst thing to do getting out of a slump is then to jump into a bunch of books that you like have to read and can't just like free read. So we're going to see how this goes, but I am excited, and I'm excited to do like sports romance and get some different sports romances in there, like football, dancing, basketball, and not just hockey, even though I did pick a hockey book, but I'm excited for it. And like I said, all the details live over on all of our Instagrams, and then a live show will happen. Oh, is it like Thursday? It's like the first Thursday in September after Labor Day weekend, and it's going to be on my channel. So I hope you'll join us. Next up that I want to read is a new release coming out this month, and that is Unveil by Elodie Hart. This is the 3rd book in the Alchemy series. I have loved the Alchemy series so far this year. Unfurl, the first one, is still my favorite, although Undulate was amazing as well. And Unveil is following 2 new characters in this world. They're all like interconnected standalones, so like you don't need to read the first 2 in order to read this one. You're just getting different couples, and you kind of get like exposed to the club and the whole like setting of this series, because it does take place at a spicy club called Alchemy. And this one follows Genevieve, and she, or is it just Jen? I think Jen or Genevieve. So she is one of the owners at the club. So you've already seen her. You've seen her if you've read the other books and everything and gotten like a little bit of intrigue with her. And it is her romance with a billionaire that like comes to the club, like a billionaire playboy, I think, that comes to the club and wants a membership, and she is kind of tasked with vetting him for the club and kind of introducing him to it, and it ends up being their romance. I'm just so excited because from what we've seen, we haven't gotten a lot of Genevieve. We haven't gotten a lot in terms of like her playing in the club, you know, she's kind of always just like the periphery character, and I'm just excited to get her story finally. And also these books are just so freaking good. Like the writing's amazing. The first one dove in really deep into like religion and kind of like deconstructing some beliefs and like really like letting Belle explore herself. And then the second book was just hot, friends with benefits, co-workers type romance. And now I'm just really excited to get Jen's. So we'll be reading this when this releases. Next up, I have a fan fiction that I'm actually currently reading right now, but I'm including it on here because I didn't in my July TBR, and I want to be able to check it off. Okay, I want to feel productive. So Secrets and Masks by Emerald Slytherin. This is another Dramini fan fiction. So y'all know I read Manacled last year, loved it. It became my entire personality for a while until some of y'all were like, stop talking about it. So I did, but you know what? I can talk about it if I want to on my own channel. So now I'm back in my fan fiction phase, and if you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but that's just how it is for me right now. And this one is another like darker one around the war. So it's kind of got not a similar premise to Manacled, but kind of a little similar in terms of like the war is still raging on in this one, and Hermione is actually taken captive and she is given to Draco as a prisoner, and he is basically trying to get inside her mind to find Order secrets, kind of similar with Manacled how it is, but it's not like Handmaid's Tale and like they have it and like Voldemort hasn't already won. Basically it's another Hermione fic. However, Draco rides a freaking dragon in this one. Like, are you joking me? So, as if he couldn't get any hotter to me. Now he's riding a dragon. How fun. And I think this one is promised to have even more emotional destruction. I don't even know if it has an HEA. I don't want to hear it in the comments. If you have read it, don't tell me. I love not knowing because I want maximum emotional impact. So I don't even know if it has an HEA. but I'm very excited to keep going on it, and I'm loving it. I'm like 25% in. However, it is very long. I think it's even longer than Manacled. I think it's like 1,200 pages. So it's taken me some time, especially when I have like other things to be reading, but I'm loving it, and it's very well written. I love Astoria in this one, which like I forgot in Manacled that she sucks, so I'm really liking her in this one. So yeah, anyways, I'm thoroughly enjoying, and I'm hoping to finish it this month. Next up, because I have been so slumpy, I wanted to like switch around my genres a little bit. So I rechecked out In My Dreams I Hold a Knife from my library, and I want to read this one. It's a thriller. Honestly, I don't even really remember the premise, but I actually have quite a few thrillers that I want to read because, once again, a little plug here. If you haven't watched Poker Face yet on Peacock, do yourself a favor and go and watch it. I'm so obsessed with that show. I've already watched it twice, and I watched 2 of the episodes again over the weekend that are like 2 of my favorites for a 3rd time because I'm just so obsessed with it and I love it so much. And I want like a true like whodunit kind of mystery. And I asked for that recommendation, and this one was brought up a couple of times, and it had already been on my radar. So I still want to read this one. There are also a couple more that I didn't put on here because I put them on hold at my library. So once I get those in, I'll be reading those 2 that are more like whodunit mysteries, because I don't just want like a domestic thriller. I want a true like whodunit, like Knives Out, Poker Face kind of vibe, and I think this is going to deliver on that. So I'm excited to give it a go. Next up, actually, I literally have like 48 minutes left in this audiobook because I didn't think that I would finish it this quickly, but it was on my August TBR, so I'll include it here. I am listening to Divergent by Veronica Roth again, and this is honestly really helping pull me out of my slump. The Divergent series is one of my favorite series of all time. I've read it numerous times, and this is the first time I've ever listening to the audiobook for it, and I'm really enjoying the audio. I do think the narrator sounds like a little old for like obviously Triss's character who's 16, but I just love this series so much. I'm loving being back in this world, so it's really kind of helping pull me out of my slump. I think again, like switching up the genre and going back to a reread and having an audio of it is just really doing something for me. So if you haven't read the Divergent series yet, what are you doing? You should, because it's amazing. But it's a dystopian YA series following Triss, and people are divided up in 5 factions, and it all takes place in the city of Chicago, but like post-world destruction. And they're divided up in 5 factions, and when you turn 16, you end up choosing, you can either choose to stay in your faction that you were born into, or you can change and go to a different one, and she ends up changing her faction, going into Dauntless, that is like the warrior faction. And yeah, of course there's like corruption and bad leaders, and she has to be the one to like rise up. I love it so much, and I'm really enjoying the reread of it. So I had this one on my TBR, and then I actually added, because I had 1 space left this morning, Insurgent as well, the 2nd book in the series. I will for sure just keep going and finish rereading the series because it's just so good. It's so easy to read. I love Triss's character. I love Four, who is like her love interest and and kind of like our hero in this book. I love him. I love Veronica Roth's use of character death. I will defend her until my last breath about this series. And so yeah, I'm gonna read Insurgent next as well. So these are both on my TBR. Yeah, it's really helping pull me out of my slump. I know it's not romance, so I know some of you might not care what I'm talking about right now, and fair enough, I get it, but it's what I need right now to get back into loving romances, so just let me live. Next up, I have The Rebel by Sophie Lark. This is book 2 in the Kingmaker series. So I read book 1 last month, so I'll talk about that on Friday in my wrap up, The Heir. But The Rebel is book number 2, and I actually already started this one on my Kindle. I think I only got like 2 chapters in or something. So this one, the hero in this one is Ada and Callum's son, Miles, and he just seems so chaotic, and I'm really excited for the energy I'm hoping that he brings to this book. And the heroine, I don't really want to say, I guess, because you meet her in the first book, and like I don't want to necessarily give anything away, but she's already arranged to marry someone else. This is a mafia book, and like mafia family, so you know that's not like uncommon to have an arranged marriage set up, but she really does not want to marry the dude that she's betrothed to. And I think Miles comes in and just kind of is not afraid of screwing things up for them. And it's like mafia meets Hogwarts. It's like a Hogwarts school for mafia kids to go and like learn about the business and stuff. So it's just like a cool setting. I really enjoyed book 1, and I'm excited to keep going with the series with book 2. Okay, I got my last 2. So I got 2 more fantasies, 1 romance, 1 YA. So again, I'm putting it on my list. A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Don't take a shot for every TBR I put this on and still haven't read it yet, but I will be reading it. The movie comes out a day after my birthday this year. I'm so excited to have another birthday to get to spend going to go see this movie, because growing up in high school, they all came out when like right around my birthday. They always came out like that second or third week in November, and that was like my tradition for my birthday for 4 years in a row, was going to go see the Hunger Games. And now I can continue that tradition, but I still haven't read this book yet. I keep putting it off. I don't want to be done with Hunger Games material. It's my favorite series of all time, and I just don't want to not have, I think I like just like the knowledge that it's like I still have this book sitting unread. So like my Hunger Games experience isn't complete, but once I read it, it will be. So, but I'm definitely gonna read it. And again, I'm trying to break myself out of my slump. I thought revisiting Divergent and then jumping into this, like getting some YA back into the mix, might kind of help get me out of my slump a little bit. So I have that. Okay, and then the last book that I have here. So it's not that I don't want, like that I haven't wanted to read it. I'm just kind of scared of the hype around it. But when I was at the mall the other night, where our Barnes & Noble is located where I live, I was like, you know what? Hey mom, I gotta swing through there really quick and grab a book. And that is this bad boy right here, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I have heard everyone talking about this book and loving this book. Even QB, who like, I don't really think that she reads a lot of fantasy. She's even been posting on her story about how much she loves this. So I'm like, you know what? I need to give it a go. I really need to try giving it a go. So I ended up buying it, and we'll see. So this is a fantasy romance, but it is, I think Rebecca Yarros said that she wrote it kind of for romance readers who weren't super into fantasy, as kind of like a like bridge between the two. So I'm interested, because then maybe there's not that much world building. I'm like pretty good with fantasy world building, but that doesn't mean that I always want like a lot of it. So I'm kind of excited for this one, and hopefully that again, it just kind of like jump starts me back into being like really excited about the books that I'm reading. And this one has dragons in it, which I'm excited about, and I've seen like some fan art from it and it looks fun, and I don't know, we'll just see. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm hoping to get around to it this month. It's actually kind of thick. I think it's like almost 500. It is almost 500 pages. So we will see. And I think it's about like a dragon riding academy or something. There's like not that many dragons left, but then people have to like pair to ride with them. I don't really know, but I love dragons. So I'm excited to give it a go, but also very nervous about all the hype, because I don't want to not like it. So anyways, that is all of the books that is on my August TBR. It's not like a lot of romance. Well, I guess the beginning was heavy in romances, but like I said, I just really need to like jumpstart. It's not that like I don't love romance. I think right now, half of my head is just always with this project that I'm working on, and it just, it's been a struggle for me, honestly, reading lately, and like I haven't been reading as many books this past month. I mean, I'm not gonna have a single 5-star read. So I'll have my wrap up on Friday. I didn't read a single 5-star romance, or a single 5-star book, period, except for Divergent, but that's a reread, so like I don't really count that. But like new books, I didn't have a single 5-star. I had 2 4-stars, but even those, it was like, yeah, I enjoyed them. But y'all, I'm kind of struggling. I'm in a bit of a slump, and I'm really hoping to bust out of it in August. So anyways, that's it for today's video, and I will see you when I see ya.